Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and here on the YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to do something that you guys keep asking me to do, so I'm going to finally do it. We're going to compare two SSL channel strip plugins, because everybody thinks one is so much better than the other. We're going to compare the new SSL native 4KE channel strip that came out Black Friday holiday week 2023, and we're going to compare that to the Universal Audio 4000E channel strip, because you guys have asked me when I did the video on this. In the comments section, many of you asked me to compare it to this, so that's what we're going to do. So if you didn't see the video where I did just this review, link will be in the description box below, and then we're going to compare it to this. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. If it's your first time here and you don't know who Uncle Dave is, I'm Uncle Dave. Go ahead and get that free mixing course. I have a $100 mixing course. It's right on the homepage. You cannot miss it. Big orange button. Download your free mixing course today. And if you stick around and watch to the end of this video, I'm going to give you something else you can use at homerecordingmadeeasy.com, absolutely free. So here we go. So before we jump in and listen to this quickly, I want to explain a couple of differences between these two plugins and the system and the way it works. And if I miss anything here, please let me know in the comments below. As of the recording of this video, and I'm recording this video on December 5th, 2023, the only one of these two plugins that run natively on your computer is the one here on the left by SSL Native. Okay, it's a native plugin. It's very CPU light and intense. Therefore, this runs really well on your computer. This plugin right here by Universal Audio, the 4000E, currently, this is not a native plugin. You need to have Universal Audio hardware to run it. Okay, and it is very DSP intense on this. If you put, I think we have 13 instances of this across our session here. And if you look at my little meter up here, where I'm moving up here at the top left-hand corner, I'm taking up 82% of my DSP, which is equivalent to say 82% of the CPU power, but they call it DSP on my Universal Audio hardware just to run 13 instances of this channel strip, okay? Because this is not a native plugin, you can't run it without Universal Audio hardware. Now, Universal Audio is in the process of porting a lot of their plugins from hardware-based over to native-based. Okay, we've talked about that in other videos. But as I record this video, this one has not been done yet. Will it ever be done? I have no idea. Who knows? Maybe the API Vision channel strip was done, so maybe this one will be done in the future. Maybe they'll release a new one. I don't know. If you're watching this video in the future and there's some new information that goes above and beyond what I'm talking about here, please leave it in the comments below and let us know, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video. So I want you to be aware of that this one runs off of DSP, the Universal Audio one. And right now it's taking up 82% of my system. Now I have a UAD2, I believe it's a quad. Or is it I'm running an Octo, excuse me, my UA22 Octo, okay? And I'm also running a Universal Audio Apollo Solo audio interface. So I have 9 DSP chips here in this particular system. And in those 9, I'm taking up 82% of that power just to run this plugin, okay? Now that we've said that, just so you know, so we're up on the playing field. What I did here was, we have this session here. This just has a drum kit, kick in, kick out, snare top and bottom, hats, tom 1 and 2, overhead rooms, bass guitar, acoustic, and 2 electrics, and a piano. When I did the video for this plugin here, which again, link will be in the description box, this is the session that we used. The plugin is still set up. We did a little mix with it. We listened to it. All I did was copied the settings to the Universal Audio one and tried to level match them as best I could. I copied all the settings exactly on all the tracks and level matched them the best I could so we could kind of hear the difference between the two. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to play back this little diddle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Universal Audio. Going to turn off all the SSL native plugins. We're going to start with the Universal Audio. Then I'm going to turn it off and then turn on the SSL native plugin so you can hear the difference between the two. The only other plugin we're using in the system on the master buses, I have a little bit of compression with the SSL G-Bus compressor, doing a couple of dB of compression, no big deal. That's it, okay? So let's take a listen. Remember, the second plugin here, the one that's highlighted right now, that is the Universal Audio plugins. The one on the top that is dark right now, that is the SSL native 4000E, the brand new one. Here we go. Take a listen. Okay, so I'm going to let you know what I hear in this example. And again, I tried to level match these. I copied the settings exactly. They sound quite a bit different from each other. Okay, so this channel strip, the one by SSL native, sounds a little bit thinner to me. It doesn't have the bottom and the top that the Universal Audio has. Universal Audio tends to have more crack in the snare, has a little bit more top. It almost sounds like it's just a higher pitch. And even though the frequencies are set up exactly the same on the EQ, both using the Black Series EQ, everything's exactly the same. Same amount of compression, same amount of preamp, drive, everything. But again, they're two different desks, modeled at two different times, right? So they're going to sound slightly different. The Universal Audio to me seems a little bit brighter, a little bit thicker on the bottom end, seems to have a little bit more depth than the SSL native, okay? So now that I said that, tune your ears into that because I don't know how it's going to sound over YouTube. I'm going to start with the Universal Audio because when I'm switching to the Universal Audio, it hesitates and there's a little pop there, right? You heard that? That's because it's running off the DSP hardware. And a little footnote, this is now the third time I've tried to record this video because a few times switching back and forth, it would freeze up. The Universal Audio one would because I think the DSP hardware is having an issue because I'm running video recording software. There's so much going on in this computer right now. Sometimes there's a little hiccup. So I'm only going to do this a couple of times and hopefully that'll be enough for you to get an understanding of what they sound like before the whole video crashes. So anyway, we're going to start with Universal Audio. Then I'm going to switch back to the SSL native. Here we go. Yeah, there's definitely more low-end power in the Universal Audio. A little bit more of that 50 hertz range on that kick. A little bit more crack on the snare, not much. Seems, I don't want to say any wider sounding, but it just seems to have a little bit more richness to the sound. So that's what I hear. What do you hear? Leave comments below and let me know. Now, the next question is going to be, and again, we're not going to do this in this video. You watching can go demo both of these plugins. You could go demo them for yourself for free. If you have Universal Audio and you have an Apollo, you could demo it for 14 days. I believe you can demo the SSL one as well, and you can compare them for yourself. So the question would be, well, can I tweak, let's say, the SSL native plugin to have a little bit more low end so it sounds just like the Universal Audio? Can we tweak the EQ a little bit because they are two different modeled consoles? Of course you can. Of course you can. So for example, here on the kick, I can go ahead and on this SSL, the native one, let me give myself a little bit more low end here. Okay, just a little bit more low end. I gave it 15 dB of low end as opposed to 9 at 50 hertz, just to change it up. And then we heard a little bit more crack on the snare top. So what I'm going to do on the snare top on the SSL native, because I'm going to give it a little bit more brightness at 8K. Just a couple extra dB. Let's see if that changes anything. It may not. I don't know. So we're going to start off with the Universal Audio and then we're going to switch to the SSL. Here we go. Okay, it's a lot closer now. It's a lot closer. So let's start that off again. Listen to the kick and then listen to the snare. If you're looking for, the EQ kind of a thing, listen to the snare. Listen to the kick and the snare. Because that's all I changed was just the kick and the snare. Start with Universal Audio. even on the piano, I hear the Universal Audio seems a little bit more three-dimensional to me than the SSL. But again, it's much, much closer now. Now, here's the other thing about the SSL native plugin that's different from the Universal Audio. On a stereo instance of the plugin, here's one right here on the overheads, they have a width knob where you can make those elements, those stereo elements wider. They don't have that on Universal Audio's plugin, so I didn't use it on the, I just left it up the middle here so it didn't throw off the test at all, but just realize you have a little bit more control with the SSL native. Okay, so let's listen to that piano. Again, we're going to start with Universal Audio. Let's try to listen to the piano in the context of this mix. Listen to how it sounds a little bit more three-dimensional to me with the UA plugin as opposed to the SSL native, but it's close. But tonally now they sound much more similar. Here we go. Here's Universal Audio. So I feel like the UA channel strip, I like the way it sounds on the piano a little bit more. But again, we're talking very subtle. But overall, they're pretty incredibly close. So when people ask me, and I get asked this a lot, and I did when I did this video right here. This is what prompted this video, is because people are saying, oh, which one's better? Is this one better? I heard the Universal Audio is better. Should I buy this, Dave? Or should I go buy this, Dave? We hear this all the time, and I know there's going to be someone in the comments going to say, well, can you compare this one to the Plugin Alliance one? And can you compare it to the Acoustical one? That's the best one. Or can you compare it to the Waves one? I've done other videos in the past on SSL channel strips where we compared all the different ones that I own, and I own 6 or 7 of them. And the moral of that story was, and what I found out in those tests, and what I'm going to tell you here today, is they all sound really great. They're all very similar, and they have some subtle differences between them. What I would encourage you to do, as I said a little while ago, is go out and demo them for yourself so you can listen to them in your studio where you're not listening to YouTube audio, and you can decide which one you like. Your productions are not going to sound any vastly better or worse depending on which one of these channel strips you pick. It just won't. Just so you know that, okay? That's my opinion. Some of you will disagree, but for ones that are genuinely curious, if you want to know my opinion, that's my opinion. You can use any one of them. Now, again, we'll wrap up this video here, but I just want to say it one last time. If you don't have Universal Audio hardware, you can't use this plugin, okay? As I sit here and record this video, this is about a $200 plugin on its own, and it takes a lot of DSP chips in your hardware to run it effectively. This one does not. So that might be your deciding factor right there. But for those that wanted to hear the difference between the two, there's a difference between the two. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts. So again, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Now, as I said at the beginning, I want to give you something else for sticking around. So again, make sure you go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Get that free mixing course. It's right on the homepage. It's a big orange button right on the homepage. Click it, download your course. You take that course and you like my style of teaching and you want to learn more about recording, mixing, mastering, EQ compression, parallel compression in a partridge in a pear tree, I have a whole online school of training courses. I want to give you 25% off any training course on the website. Use the coupon code YouTube25, put that in at checkout, it'll take 25% off. So until the next video where we listen to some more plugins here, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Thank you so much for watching me, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.